Hello everybody, how you all doing? My name is Rafael and thank you for watching today's video. And today I'm back with another Division 2 build. This time we're gonna be talking for probably one of the best skill builds out there. You don't need to have a good aim, you don't need to know to use your skills the right way. You don't need to do pretty much anything with this build. The only thing you need to do is make sure you keep up the stacks for your capacitor, and then to put out your assault drone and your assault turret. Those two are going to be shooting by themselves. You don't need to do anything. Of course, you can change the targets which those two are going to be shooting at, but overall pretty straightforward. You just need to stay behind cover, keep up the stacks again for the capacitor, and you can clear content of any difficulty in any group side. You can do heroic solo, you can do heroic groups of 4, you can do legendary groups of 4, you can do even solo legendary. I've been trying to do the district union over here on legendary solo. That's the gameplay you're going to be seeing probably, or I'm going to have some group one, I don't know. But because you're solo and because you don't have the revive hive, any mistake you do, it's going to end up costing you your life. So it's a little bit harder than other builds, but I'm hoping to be able to post a video one day saying that I managed to clear this solo just by myself with this build over here. So there are two versions of this build, and the versions change depending which exotic you like to be using. The first version includes the memento backpack. The memento backpack, by the time you pick up all the trophies, you're gonna have 30 stacks of trophies for the memento, and you're gonna be getting 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor generation. Now memento is pretty good if you decide to play solo, simply because you're gonna have the armor generation, the extra weapon damage, and the skill efficiency, which pretty much is skill damage, skill haste, skill duration, skill health, and all that kind of stuff. The second version of this build has the force multiplier backpack instead of the memento. For the perfect combined armor, shooting an enemy increases total skill damage by 30% for 3 seconds. Of course, we have 200 U pieces here. We're going to talk about the piece later. And the exotic is the waveform, generating a stack of 3% skill damage on one of your skills every second, capping at 10 stacks. After 10 seconds at the cap, the stacks transfer to your other skills and the process repeats forever, which is a very nice choice. Now what I like to do is go with the waveform and the force multiplier when I'm in a group play, simply because that means I'm going to be killing less enemies by myself. Some of my teammates might be taking kills that I would like to get, and that would mean that I wouldn't be getting the memento trophies. But if I have the waveform, I don't have to worry about that. It's all about damage. When I play solo, I like to take that off, put a wyvern piece here, sorry, I don't remember how it's called, and the memento backpack. Now what doesn't change is of course the weapons. As our main weapon we have the capacitor. Shooting at enemies builds stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage, and after 5 seconds stacks decay 1 per second. For its skill tier, it gains 7.5% weapon damage. Now that means that because we have 6 skill tiers, that's like we have 3 weapon core attributes, which pretty much translates to 45% weapon damage. Now because as you can see we have already 6 skill tiers here, what I like to do is go with the demolition specialization, simply because it gives me a protection buff, I call it, which pretty much guarantees that once every 60 seconds I'm going to be able to ignore one explosive attack on me. I'm not going to take any damage, and I'm not going to get knocked back out of cover, which a lot of times will mean that you will survive. If you want to go with the technician, which will guarantee you 10% skill damage and 1 skill tier, I would suggest you to change one of these core attributes from skill tier to weapon damage, so you don't waste 1 skill tier, 1 core attribute. Now let's talk about a secondary first, which we're going to be using from time to time when we run out of bullets on our capacitor. It's the harmony. It has perfectly in sync. Hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases are doubled while both buffs are active at the same time. Pretty much the best talent in slot after the one that the capacitor offers. Moving on to the rest of our pieces, we're running 3 Empress International, 10% skill health, 10% skill damage, 10% skill efficiency. Skill efficiency, as we already talked about, means pretty much skill. That one skill efficiency percentage means 1% of skill damage, skill health, skill duration, skill haste, things like that. We have skill damage rolled on it, skill haste, skill duration. Armamento has an attribute of not headshot, but pretty much whatever you feel like it. I like to use the skill duration simply because the whole build idea is doing as much damage as possible with your skills, so you don't have to shoot enemies. If your skills are not up and are cooldown, you're gonna have big issues trying to survive because the enemies are gonna be facing you. They can push you, you can die pretty easily, and you don't have that much damage by yourself. So we want those skills to be up as long as possible. The Wyvern piece here gives us 10% skill damage. The Hana U piece gives 10% skill haste, and if instead of the memento go with a waveform form, you know, the backpack I would suggest you to go with is the force multiplier, as we already talked about, which is going to be a Hana U piece, and we're going to get the 10% skill damage. Now the last thing we want to talk about is of course the chest piece talent. That's the kinetic momentum. When in combat, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. Stacks increase your total skill damage by 1% and total skill repair by 2%, up to 15 stacks per skill, lost when on cooldown. You know, probably the best in slowed again talent for skill builds. There are a lot of people who suggest that you can use glass cannon, and glass cannon is going to give you 25%, you know, weapon damage, not weapon damage, excuse me, 25% bonus damage. It's not just weapon damage, and we can see that. Where is our stats? Right about here. All damage you deal is amplified by 30%. That's 30% because I'm showing you the perfect glass cannon. If you go with a normal glass cannon, it's going to say 25%, and all damage you take is going to be amplified by 50% as well. So, you know, even though it's a better, you know, talent because you have the boost instantly, the damage boost. However, you get, you know, amplified damage on you as well, so you're going to be dying a lot easier than you would if you were using the kinetic momentum. So yeah, a very, very well-known build in the community. I think a lot of people have been using it for a lot of years, and I think it's what, like 2 years since Warlords of New York came out, so people know about this build and people still are using it simply because it's a very reliable build. You don't need to worry too much about your cooldowns, you don't need to worry about your aim, you don't need to worry about getting soaked because you can spend a lot of time behind cover and still clear content because your assault and target drone are going to be checking enemies out. It's a pretty nice and easy to play with build that ends up, you know, clearing even legendary content. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and to subscribe for more. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.